Welcome to my channel Daily Bulletin News. Did Days of Our Lives just tease the return of one its most unpredictable villains? Color us surprised when, on Monday's episode, Days of Our Lives brought out a psychotic blast from the past. It all started when Jada was moving into Rafe's and commented on a picture hanging up in his room that she wanted gone. The picture, it turns out, had belonged to Rafe's ex, Jordan. Jada was immediately curious about this woman she'd never heard of before, and Rafe gave her a very cursory breakdown of who Jordan was. Jordan, played by Selling Sunset's Krishal Stas, for those who weren't watching back in the day, was Rafe's ex a couple times over. She was also a deeply damaged woman after a lifetime of trauma. She first showed up in town back in 2013. Kate had hired her as Rafe's physical therapist after he'd suffered a violent attack. They predictably fell for each other and got together, and everything was going just fine for a little while. Kate, though, didn't love their connection and began digging into Jordan's past until she tracked down her father, Clyde Weston. Yup, Clyde is all Kate's fault. By then, Jordan's brother Ben had also arrived in town and tipped off that both his kids were there. Clyde made his first unwelcome appearance in Salem. He'd been horribly abusive to them as kids, beating Ben and allowing Jordan to be raped, so they'd run away and split up to escape him. Clyde claimed he wanted to start over with them. Where have we heard that before? But neither sibling was buying it. Well, almost neither sibling. Eventually, until Ben started to relent and grew closer to dear old dad. That caused Jordan's first little break with reality when she held Clyde at gunpoint and threatened to kill him. She couldn't, at the time though, go through with killing anyone. Or so we, and perhaps even she, thought. She and Rafe, meanwhile, fell apart after he drunkenly ended up in bed with Kate. Jordan dumped him, then moved on with Chad, only to dump him when she learned he'd gotten Rafe fired from the Salem PD to keep him from investigating Chad. Finally fed up with Salem's shenanigans, she left town and took a job in New York. The next time she returned to Salem in 2019, she was a changed woman. This Jordan had suffered a complete mental breakdown while she was gone, and returned convinced Ben was dangerous. To be fair, he had been the necktie killer, but he was better by then. She kidnapped Sierra, along with Abigail and Chad's daughter, Charlotte. And when Kate realized what she'd done, Jordan stabbed her with a syringe. Jordan then tried burning Sierra alive in the cabin because Ben was dangerous. Reality got a little hazy for her for a time, and so did her reasoning. But eventually Sierra was rescued and Jordan was sent to Bayview after remembering she'd murdered her mom years before in a non-accidental accident. But that wasn't the end of her and Rafe. While recovering in Bayview, she told her ex that she had a son, and asked him to take care of little David. Rafe did as asked, and once the docs cured Jordan just like her brother, she moved in with them and became a happy little family, until she tried killing Sierra again. Yes, she failed again. Flash forward to a year later during the big time jump, and Jordan had been strangled to death with a scarf and Rafe was in prison for her murder. The real murderer, though, was Orpheus' son and David's father, Christian Maddox, or even Freres. Either way, Rafe was in the clear. Orpheus' daughter, Zoe, took David to raise, and Jordan was wiped from everyone's minds, until now. It's not clear why Rafe would still have a picture hanging that his ex from years ago liked, or why the show might have brought her up now. But if there's one thing we've learned from Daytime, it's that people are rarely mentioned accidentally. And as we all know in Salem, death is almost never permanent. So could this be a tease that Jordan might be on her way back? Well, she did welcome Kate to purgatory last year during that whole afterlife saga, but that seemed to be Nick in disguise, rather than the real Jordan. So time will tell if she's still alive and well out there, waiting to make her big return. Stay tuned and subscribe the channel.